What's up, guys? What's up? What's up? Again, this if you guys are into like that funny or into like that fun stuff, this is not for you. I'm gonna go a little bit deep on this video on just on what I've been kind of learning about myself and what I wish I would have learned a lot sooner, or I would have tried a lot sooner had I known about it. But thanks to like all social media and all these platforms, if it wasn't, I think we get a lot of it gets a lot of negatives about social media and like kind of like how people are addicted to the phones and we kind of always on our phones. I think that's great and all, and I think it is a truth to it, but I think there's also a lot of positives to take out of it, right? I mean, if it wasn't for social media, if it wasn't for like the platforms, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing now. I wouldn't be able to learn what I have learned. Like I think since school is kind of, I feel like it's kind of like one way, one route. Social media has given platforms to a lot of voices to a lot of people that are, in a way, game changers, world changers, not race, but the human race changers, right? And they're kind of voicing their wisdom, and it's up to you to whether you want to understand it, if you want to believe it, if you want to try it. Everything is on. We all have a choice, but I think without these platforms, without social media, without any of these platforms, I don't think those people's voices would be as magnified. I think again, they'll still be able to reach individuals because it's just a human universal law that the person that has value will be compensated and at the same time will be heard somehow. But I think the platforms of social media has given these voices to, like, I know a lot of the individuals that I've met here on social media and I have seen it and followed their content. I would have never have heard from them if it had not been for social media. Let's be realistic, right? There's some people across the world, in India and Bali and all these different countries, and they're just spreading their wisdom. And if it wasn't for this social media platform, how would I ever listen to this or even have access to it? Books, of course, books are there. Books are part of this as well. But I can't remember when somebody recommended a book to me. It's very rare somebody comes to you like, you need to have this book. Very small percentage of people. Now it's kind of like, hey, listen, you should watch this guy's content, this guy's video. You should follow this guy on his channel, his podcast. It's kind of like we have all these platforms, right? And I don't think it changes the importance of it. It just kind of, again, it gives us a bigger microphone to kind of everybody to voice and share what they feel like they want to share. And big reason why I kind of appreciate and gratitude for being able to record right now and share this message with the world is social media. So I just wanted to get my little point a little bit across on that, in the sense that I think social media has its pros and its cons, but I don't think that it's something that I feel that we can use it to our advantage, or we can use it to our disadvantage. And you can. I mean, I know I spend a lot of time on social media as well, and regardless of if I use it for business or if I use it for leisure, it's the same thing. We're still on our phones. We're still taken away from enjoying the mother nature, enjoying our families, enjoying our friends. But I think it takes a conscious and aware person to be able to balance that. So the more you're able to focus on having awareness, which I think that's what I kind of try to share with you guys here, like my awareness level has gone up so much higher, that you can realize like, oh shit, I've been on Instagram for the last hour. Shit, I've been on Facebook for the last 2 hours. And you're like, shit, so now you turn your phone off, you put it to the side, and you focus on what you really think you want to pay attention to, right? So I think we all have a choice. And I think, personally think that social media doesn't really make you a bad person. It kind of really exposes you. Kind of like, I know, back in the days, if you were a guy and you was to have, uh, 2 or 3 girlfriends in different states, or different, not states, but different towns in the same state, they probably would have never found about each other. They would never have found out about each other, right? Again, guys, this is just hypothetical. But nowadays, social media is quick. So it's a lot harder for those that are trying to do that type of game. But it would just expose them, right? Before they weren't exposed. So I think you get exposed faster nowadays, social media, but doesn't mean that it's right or wrong. I think, hey, you can do whatever you want, right? But social media I think, is giving also a lot of us voices that we never had. Voices for a lot of individuals that, especially whatever status or race, you would have never had this voice or this power had you not had social media. Being able to connect with people all around the world, different places, different ethnic groups, different countries, different status people. You would never be able to be heard or even given the chance to be heard unless you had that already or that power already before you were trying to voice it. Now I think you can start sharing and start spreading your voice in your stories and whatever you want to share. And I think most people are not gonna care where you came from, what part of the world, what how were you raised, what you did in the past. It's gonna be mostly about how are you how are you able to resonate with them, how are you able to bring value to them, and how are you able to also connect. And since you start believing that we all connected, then I think it kind of really social media is a power of that. I mean, or not a power, but actual uh, a great message that a lot of individuals in different parts of the world can connect. Really connect with individuals in another part of the world. Um, just the means of social media, you don't have to meet them in person. So that shows you right there that we're all connected. I mean, whether you believe it or not, we're all connected. And I'm a big believer of this. And I feel that I really wanted to just really talk about it today here because I heard it in the radio earlier today. I don't really go on the radio, but I heard it, and they were talking about it on the morning show. And I felt that, people were saying, I don't have social media no more. Excuse me. I don't believe in that. I don't think you need that. So I think again, it's a case by case. I don't think it's something that it's wrong forever. It's banned, and I don't think it's great for just use that. I have kids of my own as well. I don't wouldn't want them to be on social media all day either. It's kind of that balance, right? And I think personally, you also just gotta uh, just see like what really floats your boat. Like some people might not like social media, and that's fine. That's who they are. Some people might love it. I know I love it. I love it, but I have a balance with it. But I feel like it gives me so much opportunities, and it gives me so much um, access to things I never had growing up. But that's my opinion. Everybody has their own opinion, right? Also, you can go ahead and counter that and the argument that social media is so addictive nowadays. But when I was growing up, it was video games, right? It was video games and it was TVs. What else we had in those days? Pretty much it. The arcades. We would go to the arcades and play there Friday nights all night. Some kids would be there every day. So it's an argument which every generation something takes over, but the actual thing is not the problem, right? It's us, right? It's us choosing what we want to be distracted by, right? Uh, we all love to be distracted. I know that's something that we all have, right? Just try to sit down by yourself somewhere for an hour with no phone, no TV, no music, no books, nothing, just by yourself. That might be a great challenge for you right now, right? So it's very easy to be distracted, and it's easier to get distracted than it is to not, because that is what we're functioning. This is a human. This is our, we're just we go with what calls the attention, right? So even if you think about it, even just the kids themselves, you see kids how they gravitate to certain things and they change their mind so quick on certain things while they growing up. So it's just who we are. But I think also when you become more aware, I think the awareness is very very important in the sense that the more awareness you have, the more you're able to understand yourself and catch yourself. Like, hey, you know what? I've been on Netflix for the last 4 hours. I think it's time to turn it off. Let me go outside. Let me go for a walk. Let me drive over to the park. Let me get some fresh air. Like, these are things that I try to catch myself, and I'm like, you know what? It's time for me to go outside. It's time for me to go for a walk. Or it's time for me to just sit down and turn everything off. but I don't think it's the problem. So it's a good question to have. To I mean, not a good question to kind of conversate about. But I guess it depends, right? It's like everything else. It depends. Everything has his positives and his negatives. But I don't think it's up to us to kind of really say, hey, oh, it's ban this from society. Like, um, you know, it's a it's it's a tricky question, but I think that uh, it all starts with your mind, with your awareness. Where here when I talk on my channel, it's just about being aware of what your actions are or what your tendencies are, how you feel emotionally. People, some people have the addictions of food, right? Like, I know for me, I love like certain old school Dominican or Spanish style food when I miss my grandma, when I miss my mom. Like, I kind of reminds me of that and that connection of that those days. So it's like I would have it, even though I know that it's not probably the best food for me. Rice and beans and chicken and seasonings, and it's not really probably the healthiest of foods, but tasty as hell. But probably not the best for your health. But I know that I would need to have that, and it's like I know I need to have that in my diet somehow. Although I know it's not good for my weight, but again, that's something that we can understand and become aware of it. Also, people might just come home and watch TV all day, so you might not be on social media, but you go on TV and you watch countless shows that makes no sense. So the same thing. I think I watch YouTube a lot, right? YouTube is my TV, as I would say. And when I'm watching it for a long time, I'm like, you know what? I think it's time for me to get off of it. Or you can limit yourself. Like, I know for me, it's like, okay, when I'm in the gym, I'll jump on it and I'll listen to something. Or when I'm about to go to bed, I'll jump on it. But throughout the day, I try to be more creative side than actually, I guess, I'll be more the creator than actually the absorber or the person that actually, intakes. So I would like to do more output than input. So if you want to go ahead and balance yourself, I think you can have the input, meaning you want to take in all these videos and watch all these things and watch social media, but also be able to have a little bit of output, whether that be making a video, whether it be making a podcast, whether it be even drawing art, whether it be making music. Everybody has their own way, making funny skits, making everything has its own limit, obviously, but be able to create something for yourself, I think it does give me a little bit of sense of balance. And from what I've seen the last couple of months. So again, guys, from the answer to that question, social media being bad or good, I think it depends. And it's up to you as an individual whether you feel that it's good for you or bad for you. And it's all about your perspective and everything. Like anything in life, it's all about perspective. So I would love to hear your comments, guys. I'll see you guys next time.